All right, I just wanted to check in and see my progress over the past 5 months. Check, check, check. There we go. Okay, I wanted to check in and see how my progress was, what I've been doing the past 5 months. Um, so I'm learning Python, I'm learning programming, I'm doing it all myself. And I refuse to pay for a class until I am very comfortable. Um, I refuse to pay for anything that I can learn online, and so I'm just putting in the time and the effort. So here we are, 5 months later, and I've got a couple of things that are interesting and funny, actually. So I was talking with my friend Jay, who's been doing this for 7 years, and I told him like, yeah, I'm kind of embarrassed with my GitHub. It's like it sucks, but he reassured me that that's normal. Not everyone knows how to use GitHub properly, and not everyone starts out knowing how to use it. And I still don't really know how, but I've got a better idea now. And so, uh, what we can do is sort of start with my very first introduction here. Is just I wanted to throw something on just to get a file up and figure out how to implement, how to update and upload a, a file. Now I have something on my GitHub, and that was February 9th of this year. Not very interesting. And so the next thing I uploaded was this file that I wrote in Python that will ask you to generate a number. It will generate a number between 1 and 200, and it will ask you to guess it. Um, you will then guess the number by inputting whatever it is on the keyboard. And so, let's see, just reading this, it will take an integer, and it has to be an integer. Yeah, otherwise it won't work. Um, but then it also outright will tell you how far away the number is. So if you guessed a number and you added the far away number, you'll get the secret number. I may not be explaining that correctly, but that's okay. It's not a very interesting program. The 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 ones we're going to talk about are Hangman and Weather Machine. And Weather Machine is pretty simple. It's just I followed a open weather API tutorial to get the weather for the city I live in. Um, and so I noticed that there was a lot of videos online complaining about going on GitHub and seeing the people who have just uploaded the API key outright to their GitHub or have uploaded the file that houses the API key. And since I'm trying to enter a cybersecurity space, I'm trying to be very intentional with security, password management, etc. So I didn't do that, but I still built a very bare bones project that works, and this was pretty fun. I believe I did this in a single day. Um, the one that warrants some discussion is the Hangman game, and this was probably the first big project that I ever did. You'll see that there are two uploads, and the first one, these were kind of accidental, but it works as sort of an archive. We'll go to game. You can see I built this in March, a month after I started building things in Python, or I started learning Python. And I believe this was actually the second iteration, but it doesn't really matter. The part that I wanted to highlight here is this part right here. The function hangman is built almost entirely from asking ChatGPT to build a hangman game for me in Python. I did not know how to write code or what the logic loops were or how to get it to do what I wanted it to do, so I asked ChatGPT. And A lot of people may view this as cheating, and I kind of agree. I think this is it may be a bad way to go about building something, but since it's so simple, I feel a little better about cheating. And to get over it further is I went ahead and added the extra features myself. Um, so while blank space in display word was the and incorrect guesses was less than the max attempts, then it would run through the code. What I would do is I added max attempts to the class player. I built a player class, and then that also set the difficulty. So you could set the difficulty based on the amount of lives a player would have, and then you would also get to pick from a hard coded list of words. So if you chose the hard difficulty, you would pull from the hard list of words. If you chose the easy difficulty, you would pick from an easy list of words. And just for testing purposes, I still left my test difficulty in there. That is something that we changed in a later iteration, but it's still worth mentioning. Um, and let's see, I added a win streak. I thought it would be interesting to keep playing the game and have the game keep track of how many times you've won or lost. Um, or I guess it would reset your win streak if you lost. And so this is the first iteration. I used like a really large comment just to kind of track my thought process, how I was going about solving the problem, um, and just what I wanted to do. Um, so yeah, I built Hangman. I built a hard mode in Hangman. And so I presented this to a Python Discord that was built off of a couple friends off of Reddit, and they suggested you should implement the random words module. And so that'll take us to our next file. So here we have imported the random because we're going to randomly choose. I'm actually not even sure if we need random anymore, but random word is now the module that we're going to be working with. So we still have a. Oh, I just realized this is a text file, not a Python file. Oh well. We still have a class that defines a player, an instance of a player, and from there we have a dictionary that, based on the difficulty that you choose, it will give you an amount of lives or mistakes that you're allowed to make. We also keep track of your win streak, and if you choose something that is not available, it will prompt you to ask it again. And if for some reason there's an error, we actually handle an exception here. That was brought together with my friends on another Discord. So we're going to create a player at the beginning of the game, and we're going to get the word here. Now, I don't have access to the words, so I don't really have a way to tell how difficult the word is. But I did think that it should be separate from the lives. You can choose you can choose to play on hard mode, but be given an easy word, but it's still random. And so, if the word length is very short, it's going to be a relatively easy word, and if it's long, over 8 characters, it's going to be a harder word. This main loop here overall doesn't really change though. And the only other thing that kind of changed is that I believe maybe I didn't do it here. Oh yes, okay. You can do 2 things now while playing the game. You can quit out entirely, or you can ask for help. And asking for help will display the letters that you've already guessed. So you're not constantly guessing the same letter over and over just to see what you've already done. And the reason why that's important is because this all runs in the terminal. So you only have a few lines, and some of those lines are displaying the letters that you have guessed, as well as the letters in the word that are not guessed. So real estate is kind of important here. Um, so again, this is last month's iteration, and let me see if I can pull up um, the current iteration of the Hangman game. And so we'll go over here. Um, I've got the Hatsune Miku VS Code theme. Let me see if I can move my face. And from here, oh yes, okay. This may not work as well as I want it to, because I was also trying to implement this to be in a GUI, but as you can see, there's a lot going on here, but it's still relatively the same. Let's see. So we tell the player that you can ask for help while playing the game, or quit to stop playing. And let's see if this will work. So for now, it will create. It will ask you to enter your name, and it will pull the difficulty dictionary, and that's it. And so now that shows up in the thing. What doesn't happen is the actual game, and so I'm not sure how to get that. How to get the two. Oh wait, okay, okay. So this is live here. We're doing this. The button submit, submit button. Honestly, we don't need to print the difficulty and the name. What we need to do is run Hangman. But Hangman's all the way down there, so we can't. Let's do this because our variables should be at the top. And then we'll do this, and that should work. Okay, all right. My mic's in the way, so I have to close all this shit. Honestly, I don't really like VS Code as much as I thought I would, but that's okay. Okay. So, hi, my name is Christian, and I'm going to choose the medium difficulty. Submit. No, it's not working. But that's okay. I did have it kind of working earlier. Yeah, name label is not defined. Why? Anyways, 15-minute videos so far. But my point is, this is all really interesting to me. I don't really have a way to end this. Oh, I guess main? Would that be a better way to just to yeah, and also I can just keep pressing it and it won't really work. Name label. Why are these not defined? I mean, I see. Can't I just do this? Sorry to be moving a bunch of stuff around over here, but I just want to get the game working. I just want to play the game. Okay, wait. Hold on. We're actually going to try something else. So, this is the part that I was trying to remember. Um, I did not know what GitHub was when I walked into my friend's house, and he showed me that you can run programs off of GitHub, off of your command prompt. I don't exactly remember how, but no, I don't. I don't remember at all. We were drinking and doing Python, so um, I want this to work. I would love for this here, but it can't. I guess I could do this, which I don't love. Yeah, it's not working, which is it's fine. It's fine that it's not working, um, because whatever. It still kind of works. So now we have the game here. This is ideally what should happen whenever you enter your name and submit. So welcome to the game. What difficulty do you choose? Let's see if we can zoom in a bit. What difficulty do you choose? Um, we're going to choose hard because we play life on hard. You can enter a letter to guess, so you should always start with a vowel. And look, see how it shows up? That's pretty good. Ooh, I meant to actually type L. Ooh, I fucked up. No! We'll play again. And we're going to play easy, actually. We got a somewhat difficult easy letter. Maybe L again. I, E, M, B. And you see how it gives you a certain amount of mistakes to make. You get 5 mistakes to make on easy mode versus 3. It's not great game design, but I'm not trying to make a good hangman game here. I'm trying to make a program that works the way I want it to. And so I chose for these things to show up the way they are. And so let's see. If I write help, it'll tell me that I've already submitted LIEMB, and it also prints the word again. So just in case there's a whole bunch of stuff. Let's say that you enter a number. It will not accept it, and it's not a mistake either. Let's say you enter a bunch of numbers or letters. That's also not valid. I've seen some iterations of Hangman where you can guess the whole word, and I don't agree that that's how the game is played. So this is why I chose for it to be this way. And if it's blank or a space, if it has to be an alphabetical singular digit for you to guess it. Oh, and also, if you guessed a letter, if you already guessed a letter and you guess it again, it's not going to count against you. And that's not in there. We won't play anymore, and then it'll stop. It'll stop the code. It'll stop the program. But yeah, that's my sort of 20-minute spiel about what I've done so far. You saw me sort of do a little bit of bug management live. And I want to get back to the part about ChatGPT writing the code for me, is that it wrote, let's see, it wrote guest letters all the way down to this part right here, essentially. And I don't think that's a problem, because what I did when I was learning is I went line by line, keyword by keyword. So I figured out what a while loop was, and so I can explain the main part of the Hangman game here. So like while the blank space, the underscore is in a display word, which is a list of every letter for letter in a hangman word, and we get that by calling the random word function. If we happen to guess the letter, it will show up the actual letter, but otherwise it's going to be this. While that is in the display word and the amount of times we made a mistake is less than the correct, the maximum attempts we can make, it will keep running this code. And it will create our guess as a variable, which we ask it to input, ask for input in the lower case. And if that guess is alphabetical, that used to be it. But I added, and it used to say if guess not in guess letters. That used to be it. I added if guess is alphabetical and the length of the guess is equal to 1. Then we will append that guess to a list of guess letters. And if that guess is in hangman word for the index, for the order and the letter in the enumerated hangman word, we are like triple, quadruple, sextuple looping here, and that's something that I'm trying to like eventually get out of, but this worked. If the letter is equal to the guess, then it will take that and put it in the letter that we are displaying here. It will print good job, and then it will join that to the display word. I think I said all that correctly. Otherwise, if the guess is not correct, it will increment the amount of incorrect guesses you've made. It will tell you how many incorrect guesses you've made so far, and it will tell you how many max attempts you have. I always have this sort of like feeling that I don't know what I'm doing, or I'm gonna like, if I stop coding for a couple days, I'm going to forget. And it's really cool and interesting that I haven't forgotten, because it's been something that I've been working on for the past 5 months, and there are days I don't want to do it. There are days that it's boring and frustrating, but it kind of doesn't matter. It's because I still want to work towards it, and ultimately I think I can get a job doing this. Maybe not super soon, but I've got it in the bag. I've got it in the bag for sure.